Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to the Harping on Rugby preview show on our YouTube channel. Please don't be shy with the like and/or subscribe button if you can. Joining me to look ahead to Saturday's Six Nations clash in Cardiff is someone making pod appearance number 108. Welcome back to Mr. Neil Keego Keegan.
Good morning. It's an earlier start today, middle of summer. I am coming in drenched from the summer weather.
I swear on Thursday we literally did have 4 seasons in one day. I'm not even exaggerating with that. It's been crazy the past while. But anyway, listen, before we start, Keego, just like to get your thoughts on the reports during the week that Ross Byrne is to move on to Gloucester at the end of the season. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I hate when these things come out now because for the most part they're true. It used to be agents trying to stir up a little bit of controversy. We had Raj going to the Miami Dolphins. Every time O'Driscoll was up for contract, he'd be spotted in France. And it used to be a ploy, whereas now I think all these things are starting to be, relatively truthful. And it's unfortunate because, as you say every week, he's been in the squad every Leinster game this year. He got shafted in a couple of Ireland appearances, and like I'm gutted to see him go. It's really it's right for him, unfortunately. And listen, as the old saying goes, if you love something, you've got to let it go. And that's what we got to do at Rosser. So we got to be loud for him for the rest of the season, and just salute the mammoth work he's done in his Leinster career.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare rugby to American football, like a lot of people do, they say, "Oh, there's a lot of similarities," but it really isn't because if you're a top level quarterback in America, you are going to find a franchise that's going to play to pick you, and you will play at the top level. You're guaranteed you will be playing top level sport. That's not how rugby works. Top level rugby is test rugby, and if you come from a country where there's multiple options at position, but especially 10 if you or quarterback if you will, there's no guarantee that you'll be getting loads of test caps, and this is why it's almost inevitable. And of course that almost happens at Leinster as well, and Ross Byrne just happened to come up when Johnny Sexton was always there. Everyone assumed because he was backing up that he was going to be the heir apparent, but you never know what talent's coming up as well through the ranks, and it's just not how it works out. What I've always said about Ross Byrne is that he's a different kind of player. He's a quality 10. You could even call him a test level 10. There's no question of that. You can't actually dispute that. But his style of play suits a different kind of game, and it would have been ideal for him to come up and have a team built around him. Players picked, players brought in to suit his style of rugby. So it just didn't happen. And this could be a perfect opportunity for him to spend 2 or 3 years of great success having a team where he runs the show. And I think it's a great opportunity to him. Obviously, don't want to see him go. And the way he's played this season and the way he's put in these appearances, I don't think anyone's done that before for Leinster, gone this deep into the season on every match day 23. But we definitely wish him all the best. Okay, listen, let's crack on and look at our feature match of the week, which is, of course, Wales v Ireland in round 3 of the 2025 Guinness Men's Six Nations. This game is taking place at the Principality Stadium on Saturday, February 22nd, kicking off at 2:15 p.m. TV coverage is on Virgin Media 1, BBC 1, and also Shadow Pedwar Cymru. I was reversing that.
Something happened to Jeff there.
Exactly. Ireland named their matchday squad at lunchtime on Thursday morning. If you're watching on YouTube, you should see it right there on the screen, or for pod listeners, you'll find it in the program notes. Now, Keego has picked out some points about the Irish team for us, starting with our choice at number 10.
Absolutely. And just before we start, the 9 a.m. announcements, keep that up all the way through the season. Love it. So we've been talking nearly every week about previous decades and generations being married to a 10. And if that falls apart, whether it's, O'Gara and Sexton, the two most recent, if something happens to them, it kind of affects the entire team. And I thought, okay, we now have two nailed on 10, specialized 10s, and we have a backup who's more of a utility player, which is, he may fall into a trap with that. But we have three options, basically. And I thought, okay, Six Nations is going to be in blocks, depending on how it goes. So, for example, if we were turned over in game one, then it reverses, but it was working for us, and Sam is playing well. He's really come into himself, and I thought, okay, that's block one done. We have Wales. Let's get Jack in. Let's change things up, which they've done, which is brilliant. Let's get Jack in, Jack starting, getting the anthems in there behind him. I know he's got experience, but when you see players, much like we're talking about Ross, when you see players coming through and creeping through, it can creep into into the space between the ears, and you can kind of think, oh, what am I doing wrong here? We don't want either of them thinking too much. We want them playing the game that they play. And I thought, okay, we'll get Jack in here, in there beside Gibson Park, and let's get him rolling in this tournament. And we picked Sam again. So, it's not really a bad decision because he's playing well. But if you're looking at a team and a squad and trying not to be married to a 10 again, because we've made that mistake so many times, we're starting to make that same mistake. As I said in the WhatsApp group, a therapist has said previously, the definition of insanity is doing exactly the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We're kind of sitting in that chair right now with the therapist. And look, it's Wales. It'll be fine. All that sort of stuff. It just would have been better for the squad, I feel. And again, it's easy on the couch. Better for the squad if we had Jack in there. But that's my first.
Yeah, I mean, before I reply, just on the off chance that our better halves are watching this, we just want to point out that both of us are married to tens. Just to,
Jeff.
You say I'm a week late for Valentine's Day, but sure, just had to get that in. Okay, but anyway, no, listen, on our 80 plus column during the week, I tried to predict the team with a little bit of what I want as well, but I tried to go with it. And I have to admit, I had Frawley in a 10 as well. I thought it'd be a good chance to mix things up because I mean they'll have been looking at our attack patterns for the first two matches, and this would put someone else in. We'd play a slightly different style the way Jack plays, but he'd still be comfortable, no problem coming in. But listen, devil's advocate, I suppose they have to go. They had their plan. They have the players they want, and this is he obviously feels Andrew Goodman's come in. He obviously feels Sam is the one to do that. Also, Jack kind of suffers from that Ciaran Frawley versatility curse as well. He can cover 12, he can cover 15. He's a good option. He's a good option to come on from the bench, which it's. But of course, a lot of people will be saying, "Oh, it's just because he's Leinster that they have Sam in." So you don't know what it is, but I do honestly genuinely believe it is for rugby reasons they have Sam in, and we'll see how he gets on. Now, your second point, you want to talk about Jamie Osborne.
Yeah, so if we remember, and number one, we've got the green jersey on here now, not the blue jersey. So, but
there's a bit of green
remember,
there.
that's it. There you go. Even though I'm sitting in the Aviva there, I apologize. I got the flags wrong today. But no, when we think back to South Africa and we think back to Farrell seeing players maybe before Leinster do, he saw Osborne at full back. We had seen him in the mid. We'd seen him on the wing once or twice as well. And he went to South Africa, played an absolute blinder full back, and we said, right, now we have our two full backs. We're ready to rock. And then he kind of disappeared out of the squad, out of the out of the 23. And I think what we see now is that he's a starter. He's not a bench. So this is another wrinkle to the game plan. I don't know if Wales would have expected Osborne at the back, especially the form Keenan's in. And it's a different thing. He's got a big boot on him. He's a big, strong boy. I don't really notice it when I'm watching the telly, but when I'm in there live looking at him, he's a big unit. Him flying through the air at you, it's like a Volkswagen Golf flying at you through the air. Like he's a big, big unit. Great ball player. So I'm delighted for him. I'm delighted for the changes that they've made in the squad in general. You talk about Clarkson. We're talking about Conan in a second. Like this is really good stuff. Forgetting about the 10 discussion we just had. This is really, really smart stuff. The squad, anyone who got the email saying you're in the squad, you get a tracksuit, is in the running for a place outside of the 10 position. But like they're in for if you play, you'll get picked, and this is showing that. And I'm delighted. I'm delighted for Osborne.
Now, looking in the forwards, your third point is about Mr. Conan the Barbarian.
Absolutely, Bray's finest. I think every other back rower who is going for a jersey having a bit of squeaky bum time because Conan is, okay, putting Josh aside, I think, and Doris is playing a blinder as well. But at number 8, anytime you see Conan with the number 8 in his back, whether it's for 5 minutes, 50 minutes, or the 80 minutes, he is the greatest 8 in that jersey. It's a very different job. He's not a captain, so it's a different situation. I think this guy, he's going to suddenly put his hand up even higher after this game, because he's licking his lips looking at the Welsh back row. He's licking his lips at the start, the opportunity. You can see him. He's in great shape. They put him out as a leader in the media situations. He's really stepped forward. He was talking about when he started getting into camp and he kind of shrunk back a little bit and he didn't get involved. And now he's fully involved, fully part of the leadership. And he's going to go out and put a massive shift down this weekend. And all the lads who are coming in, we've 100 back rowers, they're going to now have to step up, and it's brilliant. And it's all down to Conan pushing them. It's like, I'm really, really excited to see him start.
Yeah, 100 back rowers is the key there, because we just got so many options. I mean, you read the press during the week; they were making it out like it was a serious crisis for Ireland with Caelan not being available. Obviously, you lose the leadership, and you know we lose his abilities at 8. But when you know you've got Jack Conan coming in, I mean, there's no problem. And you talk about, you know, leadership. Look who's coming in at number 6, Peter O'Mahony. You got Joe McCarthy back in the team. I mean, look who's been pushed down to the bench, James Ryan. You know, it's it's amazing having the options. And again, on leadership, Dan Sheehan, captain. What a choice. I love either hookers or back rowers are the most ideal captains for me. And this is a great opportunity, and it's nothing wrong with having a younger captain as well. It gets them ready for the future, and I think it's a role that he can do really well. He's done it for Leinster, and now he's doing it for Ireland, and leading out the team would be a great day for him as well. Amazing. And you spoke about Jack. He should be in the team, but you understand why he isn't. In general, when we've got our strongest team of, he's in the form of his life for Leinster and Ireland at the moment, so it's absolutely no problems him slotting in there. So it's a great 23 all round, to be fair, despite the missing names. Okay, so now it's time to have a look at the Welsh 23. Normally at this stage, I go through our opposition's recent record, but I'm pretty sure that if you like rugby enough to be watching this video, you won't need me to remind you of the run Wales have been on, nor will you need reminding me of the change in the coaching setup since their last match. How do you see their lineup, Keego?
It's insane. You and I grew up where Wales were a powerhouse in the 5 Nations, 6 Nations, whatever. Like it was very rare that we would beat Wales. It would be a national holiday if we beat Wales back in the day. And I was just looking through the stats here. They've won 1 in the last 5, and that was 2021. And we're on a 4 or 5 run with them. They don't want to see a green jersey. Wales are in the trouble. The trouble we're going to run into is the beautiful Welsh stubbornity. Word of the day, toilet paper. They're going to have that. The roof will probably be closed. It'll be loud. It'll be full. Even at 2:15, the Welsh support will have been drinking since 2 o'clock the Friday. They're going to be loud, and they're going to get behind their team, and they're going to start well. I like their 9 and 10. I like their back 3. But again, like we say quite a bit, if you're putting one team together out of these 2 squads, I don't know what the Welsh water boy is like. That might be their best shot, and that's me being a bit of a you-know-what. But like, they're going to give it a bash. They're going to try. They're going to take a shot at Osborne, as you say. I think they would have fancied trying to squeeze a few penalties out of O'Mahony, but I think O'Mahony's playing similar to Conan. Fantastic form in green. Joe McCarthy's going to be running at them. I just think there's too much on the green side to be balanced out by the Welsh team. Outside of 5-7 minutes, I think Ireland are going to score within the first 10 minutes, and then the scoreboard is going to creep up from there.
Yeah, it was a real challenge for the new coaching setup coming in, and they had to make changes. They had to bring players in. They brought in Gareth Anscombe. I mean, if you're going to bring in someone cold to a number 10 position, hasn't played there in this setup for a while, he's the kind of guy who's got the experience to be able to do it. The one thing I'll say about any Welsh team is you can count on their back row. We saw the Ospreys last weekend, gave us literally right up to the last play of the game, gave Leinster hassle in their back row. And they've got 3 here, Morgan, Rafael, and Faletau. That looks like a team that's going to go after our ball. They're not going to let us settle on the ball. We're going to have to be able to be creative and not just roll through the phases, because the longer we go through the phases, the longer they have a chance of turning it over. It's not a done deal, this game, whatever anyone says. They'll be in front of their passionate crowd. They've got their back rows, like you say. They have danger men around the park experience, so we'll see what happens. So it's an interesting lineup they've chosen. And you talked about Wales, just to make a point. You said the Wales won't want to see the green jersey. They actually won't. Ireland apparently going to be wearing a white jersey this weekend with that new thing. So that's something to look out for as well.
That's another €90 for us. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So now a quick look at the officials. Christoph Ridley from the from England is holding the whistle with his team there. And the weather for Cardiff Saturday afternoon, clouds giving away to some sun, not much chance of rain. Might be a bit windy, so we'll see what they do with the roof there. I'd say they probably have it closed. But now it's time for Keego to have a look at one of the other matches this weekend. What stands out for you?
I'll be watching England Scotland. Listen. Fair play to, I'm not going to be a child about it. Fair play to England against France. That was some shift they put in. They really showed, similar to Wales early in the game against Ireland, that they're going to show that real English stubbornness. There wasn't a huge amount in terms of skill, technique, all that. It was just pure dogged annoyance and stubborn. And it was great. It was great to watch. There's a lot of really likable players in that team. Pity about their coach. But Scotland on the way up as well. Like they are trying to play the ball. They're trying to play well, and they are on the way back. They had a bad run themselves recently, but so this is going to be a big game. They're both going to go for it. They still play for that cup, don't they?
Yeah.
So there's something on the line. Yeah, so I don't know how many medals either of these squads of players get in club rugby, but they might get a medal out of this. But it's going to be a good game. They're both going to go for it. So yeah, I'll sit down and watch that.
Absolutely. And of course, that's on Saturday. It kicks off right after the Ireland game. And then on Sunday, you've got Italy against France. Then other rugby this weekend, of course, you got the Wolf Puppies playing. We're recording on Friday morning. So Friday evening, it's live on Virgin Media 3. They're playing the Welsh in their latest Six Nations. Other rugby this weekend, you got the Vancouver Sevens. It's kicking off on Friday evening. Both Irish genders are in serious trouble at the bottom. They've had an awful run in the first few legs of this. So it's important they pick up some wins. Check that out. That's all live on Rugbypass. And then, of course, let's not forget the Celtic Challenge. Both Irish teams in action on Saturday. That's live on TG Car. And just a note, we're going to have the Irish Women's Rugby Supporters Club Twitter account. The girl who runs that will be on chatting to us for a special pod there during the week. Okay, so head on the block time, Keego. How do you see it going on Saturday?
No, I haven't got my predictions in yet. And as we say every week, don't listen to me. But I do think Ireland score within the first 10 minutes. I do think it's a big win. Wales will score, but I think it's going to be Ireland by kind of 12, 15 points.
We have to unchannel our off the ball listening from during the week, but you still have to be confident. I mean, we know that red card. If we have a dip in form or anything, things can go another way. But so can't take it for granted. But I have to say Ireland are favorites. Okay, so we're going to leave it there, man. Many thanks for joining us as ever. And what stand-up gigs do you have coming up?
We're coming up. We're back into the big run. So next Thursday we're in Greystones. Friday we're in the Dot Theatre in Dublin. And then the big gig on the 29th of March in the Mill Theatre. So, yeah, all available. KeegoLaughs.com.
Brilliant stuff. You'll find the link to all Keego stuff in the program notes. Okay, listen, many thanks to y'all for checking out our latest preview show. Be sure to enjoy the match wherever you are. Leave a comment on our Facebook page after the full-time whistle. We will, of course, have our Rap Pod, which we'll record on Sunday night. Hopefully, you'll help us out by liking, sharing, and subscribing. In the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Slán.
Aww.